Hello and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is March 19th and we are in my new and improved PCB factory. But before I get to this, real quick, just kind of where I left off last time on Tuesday, we were having problems with my compact reactor. Not sure why it wasn't doing it. Best I could tell is it was like voiding celestial tungsten if I requested too much at the same time. It was really weird. I tested it with like requesting 1,000 liters versus like 100,000 liters, and it would do the recipe instantly, but it just always seems to like the larger the recipe, the more seem to just get like voided. So I'm not entirely sure what is actually wrong over there, if I'm right on that. So I basically just lowered the recipe down to 64K, which the 100K seemed fine most of the time, but still failed for me. So I made the recipe 64K, and that seems to have solved my issues on that front. And with that, I did a couple random things. So because I have more celestial tungsten, one of the things I wanted to make sure I had more of right off the bat is water, or distilled water specifically. And I kind of forgot that at some point I had crafted one of these guys, the space pumping module, and just never bothered setting it up. And I did figure out with the space pumping module, you do not actually need to have, you can actually get rid of this, computation. So this doesn't even need to be here for the assembler as far as I can tell. Really no issue setting this guy up. The reason, though, I have this sitting on a wireless is because the whole reason for this was I wanted to up my dense or supercritical dense steam production for using it for power. So I have that wirelessly set all the way, sending all the way over to here to this little distilled water network, which feeds into these guys, which all seem to be running now without blowing up. So that's good. This one will probably break eventually. This little setup that I have going with the like the input hatch and this doesn't seem to quite work right. But so far with just using an input hatch, stocking input hatch, that doesn't seem to blow up on me. So yeah, can't complain there. But we are making way more dense steam. We're up to 29 Gs, which is quite a bit, especially now because I think if this is all running, we might actually be able to see it. No, it's all shut off right now. But yeah, we're able to do our consistent 1 billion EU per tick, which is pretty sweet. So that was most of what I did yesterday. It wasn't really worth like showing a video for because honestly, it took me way too long to just start reducing the recipe on the compact reactor. Like I was to the point where I was tempted to just try to upgrade to one of the nightly builds of 2.9 to see if that would fix my issue. Because I do have other like fluid extraction issues, like for example, over here in ore processing where I've got more distilled water. Just as an example, I have it, it will randomly stop like importing distilled water. So anyway, but with that fixed and like not having to worry about the base shutting down constantly, went over to setting up the PCB factory. So the way I basically went about it, I was originally going to kind of like piecewise it and do it around the old ones and stuff. But instead what I did was I just temporarily upgraded my original PCB factory, which is all the way over here in the tower. Actually upgraded this guy to UEV and then put all the recipes in this one. It kind of works out because this one also had the bio upgrade already, so I didn't have to worry about like the 2 circuit boards that require this upgrade to not function or anything, because I originally had everything coming out of this. And then just went on a demolition spree. Mostly used the matter manipulator, but sometimes it's still fun to just kind of go crazy with the Vajra and destroy everything. So I tore that all down. And then as I was doing my placement layout, I remembered that I also wanted to swap out this. And what this is If you don't remember, if you look at some of my older videos, essentially I had 2 lines of assemblers here that were exclusively being used to make wraps, all my wrap recipes right here and right here. So I just upgraded it to this thing, which is running on UEV, as well as just have the stocking input hatch for the soldering alloy and molten polyethylene. So I shouldn't have any of the extraction problems that I've referenced already, causing jam ups. This should be golden and good. And then I went about setting up all these guys. So what we got going on here is I actually went with 7 of these factories. Now the wiki says 2 fully upgraded ones at the end of the game pretty much will have you set. So I think we should be, this area, aside from eventually upgrading these cooling towers to 3 and adding more nanites to these, should be done. And then like power, I guess, would be the other thing. But this one's for the optical. These 2 are using the both. Let me step back a second. So there's 7, which is a little awkward just because for wall sharing purposes. Decided I didn't want to wall share these. They're also a lot taller than I realized. So if you look at this black line, I actually had to upgrade or up the size of the building. But I did like the way it was built before. So these 2 are just sticking through the roof. But so this one's optical. These 2 are wall sharing the BioLab upgrade. So one of these is, I believe this one's Ultra BioWare, this one's BioWare circuit board, and then these 4 are the other circuit boards, with each one wall sharing the cooling tower in the middle. Now, underneath I also completely redid underneath here, all 82 now. Before I had this guy, which is how I was running around and using the, not the auto taping, but the auto maintenance hatch. I got rid of all that. I just went right away with the, auto taping hatches on these, so I didn't have to worry about running conduit. Said they're all running on UEV power, so for a few of them, it's a huge upgrade because I was just running on ZPM before. Then the way it's set up is we've got the main network coming down, and then the general, they all look the same underneath, is we've got the main network coming in, standard dual interface to storage bus for liquid and solids, output bus, and then in this case, all the output comes down this line, and then for whatever reason, I have it bet like this. Oh, it's because this was where it was sitting before, and just doing it like this, so I didn't have to mess with this at all. Not that it would have been hard to fix. I don't know, I was being lazy. So all the items output here. And then, yeah, that's really about it. The only other thing going on is because we have the cooling towers, this right here, this wireless hatch, where I just showed that had the distilled water line going for underneath where the power is produced. I just did a wireless hatch to that, or wireless connection to that circuit. So this is the same circuit underneath, feeding all the extreme heat exchangers. But since the space module is pumping distilled water in, like there's just so much distilled water available. It like pumps so much comparatively to what we were doing before on, like I still have the infinity pump on T-SETI E, doing pretty good amounts of water, but even with like this number here, we'll give a space pump module and we go for distilled water through that. 17 million buckets operation. I believe the operation's like every second or something. It's crazy amounts of distilled water. So it's nice not to have to worry about that anymore, barring the space elevator doesn't power fail. And yeah, that's about it. This is I did finish off moving all the recipes back over. They might not all function yet. I don't know, because none of these have aside from the optical circuit board, none of these have a nanite in them just because they're slow. Let's see, silver nanite. Oh, I got 3. They take 375 seconds a pop for me to craft right now, so I haven't gone crazy putting any of these in. Do that one, and this one. Then out here, just do this guy. So I need 3 more of them to craft to technically finish the build, but that's where we're at right now. So that's pretty sweet and exciting. And I like how it turned out. It's a lot cleaner up here, feels less. Part of it too is because now all these, like when we upgrade these cooling towers, for example, it has the same footprint. So there's no like random cobblestone sitting around for where I like laid stuff out. The main area is a lot more open. I'm happy with how this turned out. Now for future plans, aka tonight/tomorrow, which I'm pretty confident I'll actually have a decent amount of time tomorrow at work unless stuff goes crazy, is to finally do the UIV circuits or these optical circuit mainframe. Looking at these recipes, everything in here, nothing stands out to me as stuff that I just don't already have access to. Luminescent, supercoolant, radon, plasma, I might not. Let's see. Am I gonna get okay, no, it's a Mark III recipe, so we're good there. It's like maybe that'll catch me off of guard. Now everything here we have plenty of. Organocin is the only thing that I might not have like huge amounts of, but you get it as a byproduct. Yeah, it's not. I'm less than 1 million, so it's not crazy, not great. I'll have to look into how to get more of this and make sure I'm keeping up with that. But yeah, we should be pretty good to go. The reason I stopped where I did today to record, though, one, because it's nice, like little complete section, but two, this thing right here, the optically perfect CPU, to craft this thing, which we already have the space elevator, so that part's not a big deal, and all this other stuff's already set up. It's just this guy, the optical CPU containment housing. He needs a forming press, but if you look, it's a UEV recipe. So as I'm yapping here, I have the energy hatches crafting for this just to be able to upgrade the forming presses over here to UEV. Go through the door. So I'll upgrade these guys to UEV, get this optically perfected CPU, and get this guy all set up. And yeah, we should be good to go. That'll pretty much be it for the week, and then we'll have to decide whether I'm working towards this thing, or like random cleanup. So yeah, we'll go from there, because I also do want this guy, Galaxy in a Bottle, or the Mark IV compact reactor. That'll probably be something we'll start working towards. Which I think, yeah, I'm not really, I don't know, we're definitely doing this first. It's of the next big multi-blocks. I'm not sure which one. Stopping the Infinity Bleed. Yes. Also need to do this at some point too. Probably sooner than later, realistically. But yeah, that's where I'm at. It was a good productive day. I hope everyone enjoyed the video and had a good day and enjoying this nice weather. So I will see you tomorrow, hopefully with some with our first UIV circuit. Have a good night.